Hello, hello. Welcome to our frequently asked questions about starting a laser tattoo removal business. I'm excited that you guys are all joining us today. And if you're not live with us here on June 29th, I hope that you're enjoying this on a recorded version. So let's dive on in, Josh.
Let's jump in.
Alrighty, so I am Hannah Barling, Astanza's content marketing manager. And today with me is Josh Walsh.
Hi, I'm Josh Walsh. I'm a business development manager here at Astanza Laser. So I help everybody who's interested in getting into laser tattoo removal or hair removal or some other sort of aesthetic, like area of aesthetics. Excuse me, there are so many. Kind of getting you from like, I'm interested in it, and then how do we get from A to B and make your business successful in the initial starting portions and beyond.
Yes, yeah, thank you, Josh. I'm excited he's here today. He is a guru. He's being a little humble there. So he's definitely got very, very expert insight to help you guys feel more confident and get excited about starting a tattoo removal business. Our main discussion points today are going to be discussing state laser regulations, the location that makes the most sense for your business, starting your LLC. There's also a couple other variations of opening a business that we'll get into here in a minute. And then, of course, business strategy, a market analysis, helping you set yourself apart from your competition, as well as the equipment purchasing and financing options that are available for you in the market. So let's dive on into laser regulations. Who can operate and where? Honestly, this is one of the most common questions we get at Astanza all of the time. Where can I operate? How can I do this? What certification do I need? Do I have to be a nurse? Things like that. So with that being said, state laser regulations do vary by state. Each state sets their own laws and regulations on who can fire the laser, who can delegate the procedures, who can actually own the laser device, things like that. And then, of course, it is typically the particular state's medical or licensing board that puts forth that ruling and is in charge of those regulations. And so all of this being said, Astanza's experts were very well versed in this world. We do know that there is some gray area, and it can be kind of difficult when you're starting to research some of these things. So it does take a little bit of research, but Astanza's experts are here to help you. And I mentioned already, but some states do require medical background, but most states don't. Typically, it's a matter of getting certified, getting the proper training, and then most commonly, the regulation that's sort of across the board is that you typically have to have an offsite physician that will be listed as a medical director. And I know Josh is very familiar with helping a lot of our clients finding those medical directors and making that part happen in the process.
It's not as hard as you think. If your state has an offsite medical director directive, sometimes there are little caveats like location, distance from your location. Realistically, they're very easy to come by, and it's actually something that's a little bit easier to look at. You're not a medical director for a hospital. You're looking at 3 to 5 hours at max a month for your clinic. So if you have any questions, please reach out to us. It's a lot simpler than it sounds.
Yes. And if you're curious and you want to go ahead and start researching and you may not have done so yet, we do have a very fabulous little interactive map on our website. You scan that QR code there, it will take you directly to that web page. And you're able to hover and click the state that you're interested in, and it will give you that specific medical board ruling, their contact information. And of course, our contact information is on there as well. As we mentioned, we know it can be a little confusing when you're trying to get all of your ducks in a row to start this business. And so we don't want that laser regulation question to get you hung up. So definitely use this map and contact us, Josh, several other people on our team, and we will more than happily walk you through what that is for your specific state and how we can get you started in that state. Location. Speaking of locations and geography.
Yeah, location. Okay, so you got to the point where you know that you can own and operate your own laser clinic, right? Or aesthetics clinic in the area. So let's talk about location, right? There are a couple different ways we can do it. One, if you're already rocking and rolling, you've already gone through the big struggles of kind of getting started up and getting marketing in a space and your whole run of your business down. You probably have an existing facility. It's great. I know that a lot of our artists, a lot of our clients are also artists, like tattoo artists as well. And if you have an existing space that's already being used, it doesn't factor in as much to your overall starting up cost. So it's usually your best option. Not all of us are privy to that. So the next one I would probably say, and it's one of the top two is going to be like a professional office building or like a B-side medical space where people have either a small suite or a single room. They're often equipped with the amenities that you need. They'll have a waiting room where you can opt in for a waiting room in your suite, and they're usually cheaper to get started. And it's one of the best options and one of the most common options that I see. Strip like mall or like a strip center with shops or inside of a mall is great because it allows high visibility. Realistically, we're looking for a very targeted market. Everybody has, tattoos, or everybody has a phone, are two different kind of breakdowns of that, right? So you're targeting a subset of people, and then a subset of a subset of a subset of those people in individual times. So the extra amount that you're paying for a large space that's in a more of a retail area isn't undoable. And I've seen it work a couple times, but for the majority of it, we're trying to keep our expenses low as we build our business up. And then maybe our second location is a little bit bigger. But I think all of our business development managers and salespeople here would steer you away from that, or rent a room. If you know somebody who has an extra room in either a tattoo studio or like another med spa that's not doing the treatments, they're doing lashes. You have somebody who's in more of like the cosmetic waxing, hair salon, et cetera. Those are great because you can kind of multi-target your spaces, right, and kind of cross-pollinate, but you're also not paying as much as you would for like a shopping like center.
Yeah, I would say the rent a room and definitely the professional office building are the two most common choices for the people that we work with. I would say
85 to 90% of my new clients choose that. All right. And you don't need a huge space. That's the best part about this, right? You need like 400 to 600 square feet. If you can get a little bit bigger, that's great. I know here in the Dallas area, that amount of space is about $1,000 in more of the Metroplex. So depending on where you are, you can get more or less space. I've seen a variety of these and some creative solutions. But about 400 to 600 square feet, you could get easily 2 to 3 devices in there, and you can continue to grow your business. And then when you're ready to set out to the next step, you can set out. Oops, sorry.
Skip on ahead.
Okay, sorry about that. Too many clicks on my end. Okay, now that you're like, okay, I'm looking at my location. I know that I can operate. What's next? How do I set up a business, right? So there are a couple different ways you can do it. You can, of course, operate for the most part through your own income and through your own liability. We don't really recommend that. If you're just getting started, it's okay in the interim. You're still working on some of these pieces, but you're definitely going to want to have these pieces. And let's kind of talk about them here. So the first one is going to be LLC. It's the most common. It is probably the most preferred for most of our clients, especially if you're starting a new business. If you're a larger business, I know that you've gone up to an S Corp where you have multiple LLCs or you have multiple DBAs. This is really kind of more geared up towards like a starting of that business. If you have a little bit more of a complex structure, definitely give me a shout. I'm happy to talk with you on a little bit higher level with that. But for the basics, an LLC is an inexpensive form. It's a couple $100s to get set up. It offers you protection and kind of separates you from the business as a working entity, not only from tax purposes, but also from more of a liability purpose. It's a simple structure. It has really good flexibility for owners or partial partners and owners of that. You have the ability to form it anonymously in some states. I know Florida for sure. And then you can pass through the entity to avoid like double taxation, which is great. So you make X amount of money, you're working a second job, you have multiple LLCs. Your LLCs are able to be tax deductible through their own entities, which is great. So for a lot of my clients, right, if you need your cell phone bill or you need a new laptop, that's a business expense. And that comes out of the taxes that your business would pay, or you pay yourself a salary from the business instead of just taking money off the top. And therefore that's also tax deductible as well. If you want to get into a little bit more of that, you definitely got to give me a call, but the LLC is super good, super good for that. And the most common one that we see. And I kind of run over these slides. I apologize. I talk about them all the time. You have, again, the best protection and the best leniency on what you can do with the money through an LLC and how that you run it and tax deductions, et cetera, as an LLC and a business. And they're easy to set up and the most common.
Yeah, I would say LLC for sure is especially the best for entrepreneurs and
absolutely
people starting out.
The other two are good options. And one of them really kind of covers more of like an LLC and different businesses in it. And the other one kind of covers more LLC businesses and a whole thing. So we'll jump through that. So a DBA is a doing business as, right? It's done to keep branding. And you can add different services through an LLC. So let's say you start up Laser Tattoo Removal Dallas, and you're like, we're doing great. We're ready to open up a second location. Our LLC is, Dallas Laser Tattoo Removal. And we have, Dallas laser tattoo removal, but then we want to open up a location in Houston. We don't want to take Dallas laser tattoo removal to Houston. A little bit of a rivalry there in the state, but we can DBA as Houston laser tattoo removal and still operate under the LLC of Dallas laser tattoo removal, and then Austin laser tattoo removal. And then we move over to Tallahassee and Florida laser tattoo removal. And we can do those as individual DBAs as your entity is doing business as each one of those clinics. So you don't have to open up a separate LLC for all of those. Usually good for sole proprietors, especially if you're doing business as a name that's not yourself. So even if you're doing cosmetology or waxing or et cetera, then you're doing the business, but you're doing business as a separate name. So it's more of an entity name rather than a tax deductible or recognized taxed or business entity. Okay. DBA does not give you official rights to trademark. You have to trademark it separately. It's usually done at the county level. So just be careful with that when you're looking at DBAs. You can trademark them, which means that nobody else can use your name, but there can be multiple different names in different states and different counties if it's not trademarked. So just watch out for that. You don't get, again, tax benefits through a DBA. It's going to be doing business as another entity. So it's either yourself personally or an LLC or an S Corp or something of a larger entity than that. Taxes are often paid through the profits for personal taxes. And if you're not paying yourself out of your business, you have to do that through your LLC, not your DBA. Okay, so let's talk about S Corps, because it's a little bit different, because it's kind of a cross between a corporation, like a large corporation like Apple or Google or Facebook, et cetera, Meta, excuse me, and an LLC. So it's a closed corporation. So there's a limited number of shareholders. There's a good tax designation, just like an LLC. Your LLC can be classified and moved up to an S Corp at any point in time. You just need to apply with the IRS. That process is relatively simple, but it takes a little bit of time. So plan ahead for that. And you can enjoy your tax benefits similarly to an LLC, but because it's now an S Corp and you have partners and shareholders and people now taking more ownership of your company, you have less leeway into making a decision, right? As soon as we have 5 people that need to book a trip together, the process takes 3 times as long. All right. There are some other benefits. You have a good management structure with an S Corp. You can do a management structure with an LLC, but there's usually more of a CEO. There's a couple other COOs, right? There's shareholders, et cetera. You get a little bit higher flexibility as a tax income because you're now a corporation. Corporations are taxed completely independently, and they are recognized as almost their own person or own entity on a tax basis. You get a great potential for investors. So if you're growing quickly and you need more capital and you're continuing to push this forward and you're trying to grow it into multiple locations and you need financial capital to do that, switching over to an S Corp is a great way to do that. Again, you'll have stocks available. Those stocks will go to you. Then as your corporation rises and gets larger, everybody kind of gets paid out for that. And you have a little bit larger liability protection than you would with an LLC. It gets a little complicated in each individual state, but having an S Corp separates you even further from business and personal. I don't always recommend to start with an S Corp from the get-go. I think starting with an LLC and getting your business running, once you have a location or two, you can start looking at an S Corp, because now you have a greater ability to get investments from other people. And if you're looking at any point in time to sell the business, the S Corp makes it easier to do that through an investment standpoint.
Got it.
All right. Business strategy. Here we go. All right. How do we look at, I'm interested in this, getting to, I'm ready, up and running first day, getting some clients through the door.
Yeah.
So,
And by the way, if you guys have questions, I meant to mention this at the beginning, still continue to put them in the chat. We're not ignoring those of you who have already asked questions to us. We will definitely answer those at the very end. As I mentioned, remember, Josh knows his stuff, and we're sharing plenty of important and exciting information with you. So don't hesitate to ask questions in that chat, and we will get to that at the end here.
All righty. So first thing that starts out is research. We're going to call it 60 days and everything before 60 days as you're looking into it, learning about different lasers, learning about the market, et cetera. But doing your research is very important, learning your competitive landscape, learning a little bit more about the industry if it's your first time in the industry, learning a little bit more about who and what clientele that you're looking for, which is very important in your marketing. The next thing is going to be training and certification. You should probably look to do that about 45 days out, especially if you can do that training on a separate timeline. Some training. So for those of you who are in the states that have mandatory like 40-hour laser hair removal courses or longer, make sure you're scheduling that a little bit farther out. That should probably be in the 60-day research, so you know when you're going to hit these timelines. Again, just kind of a general timeline. Purchasing your equipment. You should purchase your equipment about 30 days out. That'll give you time not only to have your business start, and you can do more of the minute things, painting, getting furniture, et cetera, during that time, to allow for your marketing if you're working with us, which I think you'll talk about here in a little bit, letting the marketing side or whatever marketing pieces that you have start to formulate and bring you in some leads, so that when your laser is set and ready to go, that you're starting off from a positive and not from zero base. And then about 20 days out, you should be getting everything ready. If you're going to do a grand opening, if you're going to need extra goggles or gloves or water, you're going to need a bed, a table. A couple friends in the tattoo space that want to come in for laser tattoo removal. You have a bunch of girlfriends that you want to get laser hair done, a bunch of photo facials, etc. Start spreading that word, and then on your day that you're ready to go, you do a soft open, and then eventually a grand opening is the best way to do that, in my opinion.
Definitely.
Okay, market analysis.
Yes.
Take it away.
Heck yeah. So you've done all the things, you've started your business, you're getting ready, you've got your laser, you're ready to go. But you also are still kind of looking at what your marketing strategy will be and how you will continually set yourself apart from the competitors, if you do have competitors in your area. So, most markets across the country have minimal or no competition for laser tattoo removal. That may or may not surprise you. I'm not sure where your opinion lied before you hopped on this webinar with us today. But honestly, most of these areas are still ready to be tapped by anybody who is wanting to be a tattoo removal practitioner. Even in the bigger cities like Dallas, where our Astanza headquarters is at, there are still people who are unfamiliar that it's even an option for treatment. It's even an option for fading down for a cover up or whatever they're seeking to kind of get rid of that tattoo. So it's definitely still growing in popularity, and there is plenty of space for even multiple competing practices in the same DMA. Now, that being said, market analysis, we've said that a couple of times throughout this webinar so far. So what is exactly market analysis, and how would you do that? It's pretty straightforward. It's basically looking at who is offering services in your area, and then a few different things about that specific competitor. What equipment are they using? Are they marketing their services, or how are they marketing their services? Maybe they're really active on Instagram, but their website stinks, like kind of looking at all of those pieces and understanding really what that landscape is around where you're wanting to operate. Then, of course, included in that as well is looking at the population of 18 and up. Tattoo removal is a procedure that you have to be 18 and up to get provided to you as a patient. There are certain circumstances where possibly a guardian or parent could sign off for them, but we look at that population of 18 and up, and then we do a few percentage calculations that are relevant to the tattooed population in that area. And then, consider the geographic location, all of that good stuff. So here is a brief example of a market analysis. Astanza, myself, the marketing team here, we perform these all the time for potential clients and partners that we're looking at working with, and they really want that detailed report. This is a small screenshot of what that report might look like. It's usually about a 3 to 5 page report that's very in-depth, so you feel very comfortable and confident in that information. But this being said, we did this one in Hawaii, a portion of Hawaii here. And we did a radius of that area. And then what you do is take that 18 and up population. And then these are the percentages I was talking about. So about 29% of that population has tattoos. And then of the people with tattoos, about 23% of them end up regretting that ink. So some simple calculations there, and you see your potential patient market in that specific area. Now, this, of course, does differ location by location. These are just examples for you here, but you can look at when you do an average treatment price. So that treatment price there at $1,500 is anticipating somebody going through the full tattoo removal journey with you. So tattoo removal is not a one and done process. It takes several sessions for complete removal and just a few sessions for fading it down if that person is seeking a cover up tattoo. But when you take sort of averaging treatment price, say they're going to about 10 sessions, that's where that $1,500 is coming from. And then you have that with that population. That is the overall opportunity that you might see in that specific area. So if you're curious and you're looking at this, you're already familiar with Astanza, you're here tuning in today or watching our recording, we perform these all the time, and we would love to get this information for you so that it is geared specifically to you and your business and your goals. So once you do the market analysis, you have your business going, you're ready to really kind of hit the ground running and do some digital marketing. We highly recommend focusing on the digital side, of course, and most of these are free. It does take time, of course, and effort, but they're free. You know, getting on social media, utilizing social media to promote your services, to show those treatment progress photos, before and afters, time and again, are the most important piece of what we see people sharing online. And because the results speak for themselves, you can definitely see a tattoo before and you can see that fading. So definitely utilizing before and afters and throughout the journey as well. Show them a to treatment progress imagery on your content, and that will speak volumes as well to your audience. And then search engine optimization. It's also called SEO. That's the shorthand for it. That's essentially any content you're putting online, your website, your social media, description boxes on your YouTube videos, whatever your plan is for marketing and content. It's essentially using keywords that people would be searching for to find you. So say you are Dallas laser tattoo removal. Most people in the area are going to search something like tattoo removal in Dallas. Where can I get my tattoo removed? Dallas laser services. So kind of thinking of the ways that people would search for you and your business, and then incorporating those key phrases in all of your content online. So key social media sites that are particularly great for laser tattoo removal and laser aesthetics in general: Facebook, Instagram, and Google My Business. You are most likely familiar with all three of these platforms, but they do have a few different bells and whistles that are helpful in different ways. Facebook is definitely photo, video, live stream, sharing all of that good stuff. That's very visual. But a key part of Facebook is that they have reviews, and those reviews actually help you show up higher in the Google algorithm. And we all want to be on page one, right? You want your business to be on page one when someone's searching for your services. There is also paid options with Facebook and Instagram. As you may be familiar, Facebook owns Instagram. So when you're looking at setting all of this information up, getting these pages live for your business, we do recommend to have a Facebook and an Instagram page. And now that they're owned by the same company, Meta, it makes it very simple and seamless for you to do that at the exact same time. The main difference also between Facebook and Instagram: Facebook, you are able to put that link in the caption, and that will link directly to your site, to your contact page, to maybe a testimonial that you've shared from a past client of yours. Instagram, you can't have the link in the caption, but you do have that bio. And then the third option, aside from these kind of typical social media sites, is Google My Business. Some people may say it's a search engine. Some people may say it's a social media site. Depends who you ask, but it is very, very important to have that listing, because that's actually what shows up on Google with the picture of the front of your business, your phone number. The get directions button is very, very common. And there's, of course, reviews as well. That's where your Google reviews will show up. And then if you are interested, you can connect AdWords. You can spend some money on Google and do that paid search or PPC, pay-per-click ads that will be tied to your Google My Business account.
I really recommend Google My Business, even if you don't go through all of the other pieces, because
Definitely.
I don't know if anybody is like me and we go and search for Thai food in Dallas. If you're not on the map, I don't find your Thai food. So just heads up, make sure you at least have a map listing. It makes it easier for people to find you.
Absolutely. All of these strategies at the end of the day are so that people know who you are, they know what services you're offering, and they trust you as an authority in that service space. And while I could talk about marketing all day, because it is my favorite and my specialty, I won't get too into the weeds here, but Astanza is very passionate about providing all of the resources that we can to anyone in the aesthetics industry that would help you and your business grow. So this QR code here takes you to our aesthetic resource library. We have dozens and dozens of other pre-recorded webinars like this one you're on today, ebooks that we've created about launching your business. There's stuff geared specifically for laser tattoo removal. Here at Astanza, we do also sell laser devices that do hair removal and some other skin procedures that we mentioned at the beginning. That is all included in this library. So definitely take advantage, free resources. You won't be disappointed.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome.
All right, so we did marketing. Josh, what's next?
All right. So we did marketing. We know our space. We know our structure of our business. Now we have to get equipment, the big piece, the final piece of the puzzle. So use the best technology, right? Used the most advanced technology, set yourself apart from the competitors right away. While you're looking for that, make sure that it's FDA cleared, especially with laser tattoo removal. Make sure that you have the correct system for the skin types that you're using, which probably requires a little bit more on the research side, right? Like if you have a lot of people who have a lot of darker melanin skin tones, you don't want to be using like a ruby laser, alexandrite laser. That's a little bit outside of the realm of this, but please let me know. I want to make sure that you're getting the right laser for the job, and then it's of good quality, and then it's FDA cleared. Please don't make that mistake.
FDA cleared, very, very, very important.
Very, very important. You can see them on Alibaba and Google for $1,500 to $15,000, and I can guarantee you that that's going to come from in a box from overseas, and you're not going to be excited about what you get.
Yes.
Okay, so lasers are a little bit more expensive, right? And a lot of our clients, most of them, finance through that. Few things that you're looking at when you're getting equipment finance, when you're going through the financing process. Obviously, anything with financing comes with a credit check. A lot of people are concerned about the exact credit score that they have because it matters in a lot more industries. When you're starting a business, a lot of that comes down to capital and what you have, and more of what you're like in your either liquid capital or you're more like long-term capital as well, just to show that you have assets. Securing a down payment. Usually you're looking, and we'll talk about this a little bit more, you're going to have a down payment unless you have a super good presentation on your application. And then business planning and creating a pro-forma after you get basically the numbers, because realistically in the business, for the most part, getting started out, especially as a new entrepreneur, without a ton of staff, that is going to be your largest expense by far getting started. Okay. So based on credit, assets, income, 2 years in business is preferred, but it's not needed. Down payment for capital equipment is usually for a new business owner around 15 to 25% down. It also depends on usually the term length that you have in your application. I've seen new business owners with less than that and not a ton that have more than that, unless you probably know that you've had a little bit of issues on your credit. So we work through that, but the average person sees somewhere around 15 to 25% down as a new business owner. If I picked a random person from pick a random state. Strong applicants, again, like I said, can see a better option for that. Usually up to 5 years is standard, so 3 to 5. You can get, depending on your engagement for your business or your local bank or credit union, you can get that from them. Usually it's more of a traditional rate there, and not all banks do that. If you're going to do that, find a local or small bank that you bank with and do an SBA loan. Then they have to be an SBA approved business to do that. It does take a little bit longer to get that process done. So we're way outside of that 30 days if you're going to do SBA, because they basically look through everything that you've ever done. A lot of our clients use what's called a lease option to purchase. There's a couple different ways to structure that, but it is essentially you're leasing the system until you own it, but it's structured very similar to the way that you would purchase it from a bank. Down payment, monthly payment, own it at the end. And there's a couple different ways that can be varied. So if you are interested in something like that, let's definitely have that option. And please feel free to email me or ask me that question here at the end. All right. So for entrepreneurs, and excuse me here, I have a great note. I'm going to just move us over. So for entrepreneurs creating pro formas, make sure you are looking at not only your entire business model, but looking at it as what's the worst case scenario here and the best case and the worst case scenario and the worst case scenario. So the worst case scenario on how much am I going to have to pay and how much I'm going to have to make, right? Everybody has done a pro forma or heard somebody who's like, they promised me I can make $500,000 in laser tattoo removal. You absolutely can make $500,000. More realistically, we need to shoot to that $150,000 to $200,000 range as you're moving up. I've had clients do much better than that, and ideally, we don't have anybody do worse than that. It outlines your entire expenses, so you're going to be looking at what your like laser equipment costs are, what you're looking to do monthly? How much is your rent? How much you're going to pay your employees? What's your medical director going to cost? How much is tape? Do you have to buy an extra pair of scissors? All of that can be included in a pro forma. And then it's very similar to a profit and loss statement, but we haven't incurred any profit or loss during that. So we basically, and our marketing assessment really helps out with that, seeing what the demographic is, how many people have tattoos, what's your population density within a certain area. And then we can look at how many of those people, based on historical data, are going to be able to be looking for removal each month, and then plan that out for not only initial revenue coming in, but as they come back for additional treatments, you'll start to see in those second and third months. I like to call it the snowball effect. So you new clients, new and old clients, new and old clients, and then that snowball continues to grow and get bigger, and you'll start to see a lot more, especially as you start to hit 3 to 6 months. 3 to 6 weeks. Months. 3 to 6 months. Been a long day. Sorry about that. So if you would like that and you're looking to get a marketing assessment and a pro forma, I work on that with our marketing team as well as our other associates here who are helping the business development side. So please let us know.
Can we go back? There we go.
There we go. Here's our pre-qualification form. We do ask that everybody fills out like a pre-qualification check. It is going to be like a soft credit pull, like it's on like Credit Karma, one of those type of applications. This will give us a good baseline of how to help you and where to go, not only for financing, but capabilities. It also shows for us, it is a lot of work, right? It's about a week of work for each individual person, right? To get them from start to finish for a pro forma and a marketing assessment. So it's just a little bit of like you telling us that you're interested enough to go ahead and get the process started, even just a little bit, just enough to fill out a 2-minute form. And then we will go ahead and get that process started for you. Even if you're looking for cash or you're going to do it another way, please let us know. It is a great resource and we're very happy to do it. I think it's a great way to structure your business if you're questioning how to do that.
Absolutely.
All right, Q&A. Do we get any questions?
Let's check here on the chat. Let's see here. Why aren't we opening? Excuse my technical delays here. All right, so I'm not seeing any questions quite yet in the chat here. I'm going to open this Q&A box just to make sure. But I did have a couple people email us before we got started here. That one person in particular is asking about training and what does that look like? So when we had that in the schedule, we had said, you're doing your research, get trained as far as start that process. So what are our training options? Can they go somewhere else or is that included with the laser? Of course, I know how we do it here at Astanza, but Josh, maybe you can take that one for us.
Let me give you a breakdown. So kind of 2 ways to do it, right? There are other training schools out there. A lot of them aren't focused primarily on laser tattoo removal. So I would recommend coming to our New Look Laser College. It's 2 days just about laser tattoo removal. We'll touch on a couple other indications, but this is just so that you don't make mistakes like using a hair removal laser on a tattoo. It's a great course. You'll learn not only all you need to know about the laser and probably more. You'll get a lot of hands-on training, which is super important, especially as you're getting trained. And learning about the system, right? It's like, I can explain a roundabout to you, but if you've never driven a car, it's all French. And then you'll also get a huge portion of kind of like our marketing side. We actually do a lot of business development and marketing, and we'll go over a pro forma in that class too. So whether you're looking for just training or you're looking to open up your own business, it is a really, really good course. If you have decided that you're already ready to go and purchase a laser, we do provide the same training course on site for 2 days for any of our clients that are looking to purchase a laser from us. We'll schedule that out with our biomedical engineers. It won't include as much of the marketing side because we'll focus more on hands-on instead, because our marketing team will be working for you at that point in time.
Awesome. I love it. Yeah. New Look Laser College. That website is newlooklasercollege.com. Of course, you can contact Astanza and we'll be able to get you that information as well. But definitely highly recommend that program. You will feel very confident leaving that course and ready to get rocking and rolling. So training, we talked about that. We did have somebody also ask, what if they are wanting to do they're wanting to be a practitioner, they want to open their own business, but maybe they're not quite ready for whatever reason to do it themselves. Is there a way that they could get trained, be certified, and potentially, work under someone else or partner with someone that already has that type of setup?
Yeah, absolutely. Honestly, a lot of people that come to our New Look Laser College courses are they've either purchased a laser or inherited a laser, or they're looking to train new staff, and they send them over for certification from us. It's great. And it's very important, not only for a new business owner for your insurance and your credentials, but also for your medical director, et cetera. So yes, if you are looking to get into that for a career field, this is a fantastic course to take. And then we always try to pair up people. So if you're in Michigan, and one of my clients in Michigan's like, I need a tech. Boom, your name goes out there, and we'll let y'all solve the interview process by yourself, but we'll at least get you the reference in the door.
Yes. And I would say also a lot of people who come to our course, sometimes that's their first step. They've done the research and they want to get trained. They don't quite know what their business is going to look like. They're still figuring all that stuff out, but they're excited. They want to go ahead and get trained. And then maybe they launch their business within 6 months, a year. We've had a few outliers, even a couple of years later. They've, got their ducks in a row and they're ready to get rocking and rolling. So that's not uncommon either. So definitely recommend looking at the training and getting certified sooner than later. But like Josh mentioned earlier, if you're ready and you've already done all the research and you want to get that laser, you can also get training included with your laser as well.
As much as I love it, working for yourself is great, especially for the time in doing 15-minute treatments and blocking that off. And you will make more money for yourself if you just spend the time now to get in that process.
Absolutely. We do have someone just popped up here in the Q&A. Is our training in Texas?
Yes.
Great question. So our headquarters of Astanza here is in Dallas, Texas. We do teach our New Look Laser College courses about once a month here in Dallas. And then we also have a few remote course options that we teach across the country. So a few times a year, we are in the Fort Lauderdale, Miami area. And then we also are in Viva Las Vegas, Nevada, and teach a few courses out there as well. So if you're interested in training, we have 15 to 20 courses a year, depending on how those weeks line up. So there's dozens of opportunities, and we still have plenty for the rest of the year as well. So if you're interested in training, definitely visit newlooklasercollege.com or reach out to us, and you definitely will get all of the information you need.
Yeah, come see us, Mary.
Yes, yes, thank you. Alrighty, let's see. Those are all of our training questions. I feel like we had one other one. I'm trying to pop up here. Oh, maybe not. So I feel like we covered a lot today. I know that there was some detailed information for you in there as well. So please don't hesitate to reach out to us. We are more than happy to guide you through this journey. I know myself, I really am passionate about working with entrepreneurs and helping people see the vision of their business and market that. Of course, I'm on the marketing side here, but it's really great to see, and we love to help you out. So I know Josh has been around for a long time. He's very familiar with the engineering side, the physics and the science of the lasers as well. But he is one of our expert business development managers. And I really appreciate you going through all this today with me and helping these people learn a little bit more about getting their business going.
Of course, if you ever need anything, please let me know. If you do have a question about LLC versus S Corp, because we kind of touched on highlight points, please visit your CPA or like an accountant or somebody who's like more trained in the individual state that you're in and how to do that. But if you need any sort of guidance on how to get from A to B, I'm your guy. Please give me a shout.
Yes, absolutely. So here is our personal contact information. If you're curious, I'm Hannah Barling, Content Marketing Manager. My email is hbarling@Astanza Laser. With me today is Josh, as I've mentioned.
Yep, Josh Walsh, Business Development Manager here at Astanza Laser. And my email is jwalsh@astanzalaser.com.
Awesome. Well, thanks again, Josh. Astanza Laser, we were very happy to host this with you all. Thank you for your questions. Feel free to reach out to us if you've got other ones as well. And we appreciate the time you took today to join us.
Yeah, thank you so much, everybody.
Have a good one.